Welcome to this explainer. So, you're thinking about becoming a special education teacher. That is an amazing path to consider, one that literally changes lives, and not just your students, but your own too. But how do you get there? How do you go from this idea to being that confident, effective teacher in your very own classroom? Well, today we are going to lay out that exact roadmap for success.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to start with your personal why. That's the fuel for this whole journey. Then, we'll build up that essential academic foundation. After that, we'll look at how you turn all that theory into real-world practice, sharpen the skills that make a teacher great, and finally, we'll talk about why the best educators never, ever stop learning.
Before we even touch on curriculum or classroom management, everything really starts right here. You have got to be rock solid on your why. This first step, it isn't about the what or the how. It's all about digging into that core motivation that's going to pull you through anything.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? This whole journey begins the moment you really accept the profound, lasting impact you are choosing to make. This isn't just another job. It is a true commitment to shaping futures. And that sense of purpose, well, that's incredibly powerful.
I want you to think of your why as your anchor. Because on the tough days, and believe me, there will be tough days, it's this deep sense of mission that's going to keep you grounded and focused. Okay, so with that anchor set, let's start building the next piece. The knowledge every single special ed teacher needs to have.
So, with your why firmly in place, it's time to build your foundation. This part is all about the core theories and legal frameworks that are going to become your professional toolkit. And trust me, these aren't just abstract ideas, they are the non-negotiables you'll be using every single day.
First up, you have got to master the language of special ed, and that starts with the IEP. This is the absolute cornerstone of everything. It's not just some plan, it's a legally binding document that maps out a student's unique learning path. And you're going to become an expert at writing and implementing these.
Next on the list is the concept of LRE. Now, this is a guiding philosophy, and it's all about inclusion. It just means we always aim to have students with disabilities learning right alongside their peers in general education classrooms, as long as we can give them the right supports to succeed. It's all about access and opportunity.
And I love this one. UDL is just a brilliant, modern, and proactive way to teach. See, it's not about trying to fix a lesson after the fact for one student. It's about designing your lessons from the very beginning with built-in flexibility so that everyone can learn. It's kind of like building a ramp into the building's design instead of adding one as an afterthought.
Okay, so you've got that strong theoretical foundation. Now for the really exciting part, bridging that gap between knowing the stuff and actually doing the stuff through real, hands-on classroom experience.
Now, your practical training isn't about being thrown into the deep end. Not at all. It follows this really clear, logical progression. You'll start by just observing your mentor teacher, soaking it all in. Then you'll move into assisting and co-teaching. Then you'll start to take the lead. And maybe most importantly, you'll be constantly reflecting and refining your own practice.
And this phase right here, this is where it all clicks. It's where all those abstract terms you learned in a textbook become real, concrete actions in a classroom. It's where your confidence as a teacher really, truly begins to grow.
Okay, so you've got the theory down, then you're getting that hands-on experience. Now let's zoom in and get even more practical. Let's talk about the specific skills that are really going to define how effective you are in that classroom.
So let's just pause for a second. Beyond the big theories, what are the day-to-day things you absolutely have to nail? What are those core skills you should be focused on developing? I mean, what does an excellent teacher actually look like in action?
So, look at this list. What's so interesting here is that none of these skills live on an island. They are totally interconnected. For example, you're going to use data-driven decision-making to figure out how to differentiate your instruction. Your collaboration with parents is going to be crucial for your proactive behavior management. And knowing how to use assistive technology, that can be the key that unlocks everything else. It's a whole system.
Okay, this is a huge one you'll need to get right away. The difference between an accommodation and a modification. An accommodation changes how a student learns, like giving them an audiobook. A modification changes what they're expected to learn, like giving them a shorter, simpler assignment. How versus what. It's a simple distinction, but it is so important.
This is another huge mindset shift you're going to make. Your goal is not to get really good at reacting to problems after they happen. The real goal is to become an architect. You want to design a classroom environment where problems are just less likely to pop up in the first place. And you do that with clear routines, positive relationships, and lessons that really engage your students. And that brings us to our final section. Let's talk about the mindset that is going to guarantee your success and keep you inspired, not just for your first year, but for your entire career.
Honestly, if you take away just one thing from this entire roadmap, please let it be this. Graduation is not the finish line, not even close. In a field that is constantly changing with new research, your diploma is really just the starting gun for a career of continuous learning and growth.
You'll see that the best educators are always learning. They're the ones actively seeking out professional development, finding mentors to learn from, constantly collaborating with their colleagues, and even reading up on the latest research. It's that commitment to growth that lets you bring your best self to your students year after year.
So as we wrap up our roadmap, I'm going to leave you with this question to carry with you. After all the training, all the theories, and all the practice, what kind of learning environment are you going to create? What are your students going to feel when they walk through your door for the very first time? You've got the roadmap. Now it's time to start building.